Hello, I'm Liam Cross, and this is how WWE should break up the Bloodline. This story begins at Raw 30. The show begins with the Usos versus the Judgment Day for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Now, under nefarious circumstances from the Judgment Day, the Usos actually lose the Raw Tag Team titles. Not long after the match, the Usos try and get into the Bloodline locker room, and they are stopped by Paul Heyman. Yes, the continuation of Paul Heyman stopping Sami Zayn getting into the locker room has now happened to the Usos, and Heyman tells them Roman does not want to see them right now. Later on in the show, Roman lets them in and absolutely rages his mind on both of them. He calls them an embarrassment, and how dare they lose any match. So Roman says they will not be acknowledged tonight. It will only be him being acknowledged by the Anoa'i family. And now for the main event of that show. The Bloodline come out for the acknowledgement ceremony, and all of the family who are scheduled to be there are already in the ring waiting for them. Roman asks everyone to kneel on one knee so they can show that they acknowledge him as the tribal chief. Everyone does except for one person, Rikishi. Roman asks, "Why aren't you acknowledging me, old man?" And Rikishi says, "I don't like the way you spoke to my sons." Roman demands Rikishi acknowledge him, or Roman is going to smash him. The Usos are just stood there, or kneeling there, refusing to help their dad because they're scared of Roman. But Solo Sikoa stands up to Roman. Solo says, "I don't acknowledge you as a tribal chief. I never really did, and you never really was." At this point, Roman is absolutely furious, and it looks like Roman and Solo are about to fight it out until The Rock's music hits. The Rock comes down to the ring, fans screaming everywhere, gets into the ring, shakes Solo's hand, and stares down Roman. Roman is absolutely speechless at this point, and Rock says, "If you think you're the tribal chief of this family, the head of the table, then you've still got a lot to prove. And that includes going one-on-one with the Great One. But not this year." Roman then just laughs at The Rock. He's humoured by the fact that Rock wants to fight Roman, but not this year. So Roman asks, "Why?" The Rock says, "Well, you're the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, and The Rock has no time for championship title reigns. The Rock is making movies. The Rock just wants one match with Roman, but when he's lost his championships." The Rock then says he knows a guy who's capable of taking down Roman. The Rock immediately points at Sami Zayn. Sami's basically been hiding in the corner this entire time, because you know what he gets like when Roman gets angry. So Sami's like a scared child. So Sami's in the corner shaking until The Rock points at him, and he has that shocked face. And then The Rock says how much of a great guy Sami Zayn is, and the way Roman's been treating him is shit. Now, this is where the bomb drops. The Rock knows Roman's been using him, and the reason why The Rock knows this is because Solo Sikoa has been a double agent, a sleeper agent for The Rock this entire time. The elders sent Solo to help Roman, but there was never specific about which elder that was, and it was Dwayne The Rock Johnson. The Rock then declares Sami Zayn for the Royal Rumble match, says all of his catchphrases, and then leaves the ring with Rikishi and Solo. After that, Roman stares at Sami, Sami stares at Roman, and then Sami just gets out and walks away. Next we come to SmackDown that week. Kevin Owens comes out and he calls out Sami Zayn to come to the ring. Sami looks conflicted as KO is telling him how he should have listened to him this entire time. Sami says that he still does not believe that Roman was using him, and deep down he does believe it, but he doesn't want to. Next thing you know, the Usos music hits and the Usos come down to the ring and attack Kevin Owens. Eventually Sami's had enough and he decides to pull the Usos off of Kevin Owens, because no matter how much they fight, they will always be best friends. As soon as Sami does that, he's immediately met with a spear by Roman Reigns. The Bloodline then demolish both of them and put Sami through the announce table. Next we've got the Royal Rumble. We'll start with Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. Now, Kevin Owens is refusing to lose in this match. He will not be pinned. Roman's hitting him spear after spear after spear, guillotine after guillotine. Kevin Owens always finds a way out until Roman loses it and absolutely beats him to the point where the referee has to stop the match. Roman continues the beatdown even though the bell's rung. The referee tries to pull Roman off. Roman punches the referee, realises what he's done, and then leaves the ring. More on that later. The Royal Rumble match begins with Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Now, I'm not going to give you this entire match because I do not have the skill set for that yet. So, Sami enters at number 13, and then we are at the final four. Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, and Gunther. Gunther eliminates both Cody and Seth as they're trying to eliminate each other. He gets their legs, flips them over the ropes, and then it's just Gunther and Sami Zayn. Gunther is absolutely mauling Sami Zayn because he's still relatively fresh, entering at number 27. Gunther then gets Sami up for a powerbomb over the ropes, but Sami wraps his legs around his head, pulls him over, and Sami Zayn is your Royal Rumble winner for 2023, which is how it should happen always. Not Cody, not Rock, Sami. The next Raw, Roman and the Usos come out and tell everyone how he smashed Kevin Owens and that Sami Zayn should be grateful that he gets to be a sacrifice once again for the tribal chief. Triple H then comes out and tells Roman, you went too far last night, which means I'm going to have to punish you, and the only way I can do that is by stripping you of the WWE Championship. Not the Universal Championship, just the WWE Championship. A new champion will be crowned inside the Elimination Chamber. Meanwhile, Roman and the Usos are feuding with Roman's next challengers, as Triple H announced that Roman will face both Drew McIntyre and Sheamus at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. So we've got the Usos versus the Banger Bros, but they need one more guy. Who's going to help them? Solo Sikoa. Solo wants to help stop the Bloodline because he's always been on the side of The Rock, and he wants to help Drew and Sheamus. It takes them a while to trust him, but they get there in the end. Meanwhile, the 6 men are being picked for the Elimination Chamber WWE Championship match, and Sami Zayn is just tinkering here and there, trying to find himself and think about what he wants to do. And now we get to the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. The WWE Championship match. Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens versus Austin Theory versus Finn Balor versus Edge. The winner of this match, because not many people wanted to see the Kevin Owens video, is Kevin Owens. Yes, Kevin Owens has finally won the WWE Championship. Universal Championship match, Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. Now it looks like Roman's going to lose, but we all know Roman never loses. He gets help from the Usos and Roman goes to Wrestlemania. Now we're only a few weeks away from Wrestlemania and the matches are being set. Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn for the Universal Championship. Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship. And the Usos versus Solo Sikoa and an unlikely partner in Shinsuke Nakamura, because if you remember last WrestleMania they injured his tag team partner Rick Boogs, so it all ties in. Now I haven't got the time to film all of this build, so I will be cutting straight into Mania. If I had the time I would go deeper into the story, but I've gone quite deep so far, so we're at Wrestlemania. Night 1's main event, Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. KO wins. Night 2, the Tag Team Championship match. The Usos finally lose the SmackDown Tag Team titles to Solo Sikoa and Shinsuke Nakamura. And then we get to the main event of Night 2, Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn. Now Roman seems to dominate a lot of this match, but Sami Zayn will never give up. Roman goes to spear Sami, Sami gets out of the way, Roman goes straight into the corner, Sami then uses that momentum to run to the other corner, run back, Helluva kick, 1, 2, 3, Sami Zayn has beaten the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns and is your new Universal Champion. Kevin Owens then comes out with his WWE Championship and they celebrate together in the ring as a repeat of Benoit and Guerrero, but this one can be on the WWE network and be shown, and because you know Benoit. Yeah. So in the end we've got the perfect story for the end of the Bloodline, and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and Solo Sikoa can go off to do his own thing. This then sets up another video that I'll have come in, as long as it doesn't happen at this year's WrestleMania. I hope it fucking doesn't. Which will be Roman Reigns versus The Rock. And I hope you enjoyed that. This has gone a lot more in depth than my previous video because I've got a little bit more time today. If you liked what you saw, make sure you hit the like button. Please subscribe. Thanks for watching and I'll see you soon.